Now that we briefly mentioned that I will be watching fucking JCS, now my mind can't comprehend anything other than that. I just like, I want to get back to JCS now. It's my addiction, dude. I got murder on my mind, boys. I don't want to watch this. I want JCS, dude. What is this? Jenenifers Solution? What the fuck is this one? Okay, let's just go to the main line, dude. So we got Jody Arias. We got Jenenifers Solution. I don't even know which one that is. We already watched Legend of Jeff. Should we do Jenenifers Solution? Okay, we'll do Jenenifers Solution. All right, I'm tweeting it. I'm fucking tweeting it, dude. It's criminal psych time again. Murder on my mind. I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. Get the popcorn out. Get the popcorn out. Get the popcorn out. Yo! It's murder case time again. Time for some watered down live leak liquid crack cocaine in the form of content. www.twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Trigger warning. I didn't put it on Twitter, but I did put the trigger warning in the title of my on my Twitch stream. But like, you know what you're getting into, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I literally tweeted that we're doing murder mysteries, and I said it's watered down live leak. So I don't know what to tell you in that. Dude, stop sending me naked short selling videos from fucking Fox Business. Like, I do not care. Stop. Like, literally do not care. I can't begin to tell you. I don't care. Go to the moon, dude. Go to the moon. Leave me alone.
Case of Jennifer Pan, unique among others in the true crime genre, is the overabundance of raw footage freely available in the public domain. There is over 11 hours of material that not only recounts her entire life in meticulous...
Should I wait? Should I wait for people to come in? I sometimes feel like I'm being... Like, I'm you know, I start too quickly immediately after I tweeted it out. Okay, here. Just blast it. No, you have VODs, man. Okay, let's just get started. Now, fuck it. I can't wait. Dude, I've waited for too long. I waited for 3 hours and 30 minutes, dude. Nobody reads your tweets. Just go.
Detail, but gives us considerable insight into her psychopathological state. Jennifer herself will narrate her own story in this video, which is the reason the following lead-up segment will be condensed, as a brief outline is all that is needed before delving into the extraordinary mind of this individual. Jennifer was born in Markham, Ontario, where she was raised with her older brother in a middle-class household. Her parents, Beek and Han, were originally from Vietnam, and their method of parenting was strict. Very strict, what some might even class as authoritarian. Success and achievement from their children were seen as outright obligations, whether it be in academics or extracurricular activity, and some might argue these expectations took precedence over the well-being of the children themselves. Jennifer initially took the imposed pressure in her stride and put everything she had into figure skating. She had exceptional talent, and at one point was expected to compete in the Winter Olympics, but she suffered a serious knee injury at the age of 14 and was told she could no longer compete. Her dreams were cut short, but of more concern was that her parents' expectations now had to be met through the more traditional route of education. And the issue was that Jennifer wasn't anywhere near as academically gifted as she was athletic. She was averaging a C- when her parents wanted straight A's. So rather than communicate with them, she decided to meet their expectations under false pretenses and began faking her test results. This led to her faking her end-of-year report cards, which eventually led to her faking a high school diploma, and then a university acceptance letter to study pharmacology. In the abstract world of her parents, Jennifer was on her way to a noble and well-paid career in medical health care, when in reality, she was a high school dropout living with her drug dealer boyfriend, whom she had been dating in secret for almost 8 years. She was eventually found out in 2010 when her parents discovered she had been living a double life, and was then given an ultimatum. At 24 years old, she had to choose between one of two options. Option one was that she had to live at home under a strict regime, cease all contact with her boyfriend, and only leave the house to go back to school and pursue an education. Option two was that she could do whatever she wanted, but she would then be disowned from her family. She could never return home, and all financial support would cease immediately. Jennifer evidently decided neither option would suffice, so she created option number 3. She had her boyfriend arrange a mock home invasion, where 3 of his acquaintances would enter the Pan household and stage a robbery gone wrong. The two instructions were to first ransack the home and then murder the parents. The planned date was Monday the 8th of November, with the scheduled time being roughly 11 p.m. Jennifer would unlock the front door, and 3 figures were caught on a neighbor's surveillance camera entering the home at 11:05. They were then seen running out just under 18 minutes later. It was at that exact time 911 received a call from the same household.
Bro, what the fuck? Bro, is this person like literally the worst dispatcher in all of North America? Like, what's happening? Like, what is happening right now? Can you please spell avenue, ma'am? She says. Oh, hey, what's going on? My parents are being murdered downstairs. Can you please tell me how to spell avenue? Wait, that's the calmer down? Wait, really? Oh, to keep her on the line.
Beek Pan was shot twice, once in the neck and once in the head. She was killed immediately. The father, Han, was also shot twice.
Never mind. That's the best dispatcher in NA. That's actually 5 head. I was dumb. I was dumb.
In the shoulder and once in the face. He astonishingly survived and was put into an induced coma once he arrived at the hospital. Jennifer was taken to the same hospital as a precaution, but was soon cleared of injury. She sat by her father's bedside for roughly 3 hours before she was taken to the Markham police station to give a statement as a witness.
I want to go through a form with you. It may seem kind of, why you're doing this, but this is it's like you're swearing to tell the truth about what you're going to talk to me about. And it's also going to explain to you the penalties for not telling the truth. I don't expect you to help me, but...
Bro, the thing I don't understand is, like, okay, I'm going to say something here that, like, people might find to be distasteful, but, like, dude, why are murderers so extra? Like, you are you end up taking so much more initiative to deal with the problem rather than just like directly tackle it. I don't understand it. It's like Chris Watts, like he fucking murdered his entire family and had to like hide bodies and shit rather than just be like, I'm out. I'm done. Fuck these kids. Fuck you, wife who's pregnant. Like, I'm done. I'm going to fucking be a piece of shit and I'm going to leave you. Like, just leave, forehead. Like, why are you like, it just, I'm too lazy is what I'm trying to say. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm too fucking lazy to like plan out all this intricate shit where it's like a direct way to resolve the conflict is just by being like, dude, I lied to you guys. Like, instead of telling her parents, which, I mean, I don't know what the situation is like with like parents like that. But instead of like at some point, you know, telling your family that it's top of the hour and a 60-second ad break is coming right now, and the only way to avoid that 60-second ad break is by using a VPN or ad block or potentially a Twitch Prime. That was literally the worst one. That was the worst. None of you guys saw that. That was the worst one, dude. That was goated. Yeah, if you want to avoid the ads, you can subscribe with a Twitch Prime, boys. You already know what the deal is. That shit's free too. Free 99, baby. Okay, piece of shit. Oh my god. Okay. Here's the ad now. Sorry. So as I was saying, okay, all jokes aside, as I was trying to describe here, like, I feel like it's significantly less effort, less emotional and physical labor to directly confront a problem head on than to come up with like all of these intricate, detailed solutions that literally cause so much more mental anguish and so much more physical labor as well. Feel me? Like, just fucking resolve the conflict head on, forehead.
For a homicide investigation, anyone who's very close to the investigation, we do this with. Okay? So this isn't suspecting that you're not going to tell the truth. This is more of a feature that you understand the importance of telling the complete truth.
Jennifer is not a suspect at this moment. She is only giving a voluntary statement under oath. She has not read her right to silence, but instead informed of her rights as a witness. She is basically told that fabricating evidence with the intent to mislead is an offense. After reading the notification off paper, the detective gives Jennifer a more human explanation of the instruction.
What I've just explained to you is you're here voluntarily to help us. That you don't have to talk to us if you don't want to, but the importance of talking to us, and if you're talking to us, the importance of telling the truth. And if you don't tell the truth, there's criminal consequences for not telling the truth. That's all that stuff had to deal with. Okay?
The investigator then leaves to get the Commissioner of Oaths, which is for the purpose of swearing in the witness. But he first brings in a box of Kleenex. I don't think so at all.
Some of these people don't even have mental illness.
This is universally recognized as getting startled, yet the official term in neurophysiology is the startle reflex via auditory stimulus. Hyperarousal from a traumatic event can often exaggerate this response in a manner similar to how Jennifer reacted to the sound of the door.
Yo, I swear to God, I'm sorry for all the criminal psych majors in the chat, but like 95% of like criminal psychology shit that we hear just sounds made up. And I don't mean like everything made up in the sense that like everything is technically made up, but like literally it sounds like it's made up on the spot. I don't know what it is. Like, okay, she got spooked, bro. That's what that is.
Hello, my name is Andrew Spiro. I'm a Commissioner of Oaths with York Regional Police. I'm here so you can give a truthful statement, either by solemn affirmation or swearing on the Bible. Which do you prefer?
Swearing on the Bible.
Okay, just put your hand on the Bible.
Just saw your tweet and you're already like 15 minutes in. Maybe wait a little. Otherwise, what's the point? I don't know. I mean, you will have nowhere to go with that kind of fucking attitude. Take a week off, dumbass. We're 6 minutes in. That's the fucking point. You're in here now, so shut the fuck up, bitch. Nice bait, by the way. Take a week off, stupid. I literally waited, too.
Do you, Jennifer Pan, swear that the evidence you shall give on this investigation shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Once Jennifer is sworn in, the lead investigator returns to collect the statement.
Now I want you to sort of take yourself back to earlier on today, yesterday, meaning the 8th of November, and tell me about your day. Okay, start at any point in time, wherever you feel comfortable, and then we're gonna move forward. Okay.
Yesterday, probably around 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30. My mother, she woke me up and she told me that she was going to visit my grandfather.
Throughout the day, Jennifer explains that she practiced piano, studied piano history, talked on the phone with her friends, and had dinner with her parents. Her mother left for line dancing at 8 p.m. and returned home at about 9:30, at which time Jennifer was alone in her room watching TV, ready to go to sleep.
And then suddenly I just heard my mom calling for my dad to come down. And that's when I lowered the volume on my TV, and I could hear the voices weren't any voices I was very familiar with. And so I was scared and I couldn't move. I just sat in my room for a while. And then I thought I heard them all leave the top floor, and I peered out of my bedroom door. And a guy was there, and he came at me and had string in his hands and tied my arms back and said, "I have a gun behind your back. Do what I say. If you do what I say, then no one will get hurt. Where is the money? Show me where your money is." My mom kept trying to get up, and they kept telling her, "Sit down." And so I didn't want her to get hurt, so I told her, "Mom, sit down." They were trying to find her wallet, but her English isn't good, so she kept saying purse. They kept pushing her down onto the chair.
Okay.
Okay.
Take your time.
It feels like, dude, she's fucking so good, dude. This is terrifying. This is like actually fucking terrifying. She is so good at this, dude. Like, obviously she rehearsed this. Like, she actually bad? What do you mean actually bad? Bro, she's literally like, it's clear that she rehearsed this and is actually good at this.
Take your time. All this is very important, so take your time.
Jennifer's nonverbal communication up to this point has made sense, and the reflection of her mother's last moments seems to push her over the edge. It could be assumed the detective still considers Jennifer a victim at this moment, but in the next moment, he will start becoming suspicious.
They kept all the lights off on the main floor. The only time there was light was when they opened the fridge door to see if they could find where my mom's purse was.
Take yourself back to a moment in your life when you have been
Why the fuck would you know that, dude? That's so specific. Oh, no.
Overwhelmingly upset about something. And at the same time, we're trying to explain to someone why you were upset. You wouldn't quietly and reservedly convey the events. You would likely blurt them out in a forceful and disordered manner. Your sole focus would be on processing your thoughts and conveying them into speech. The emotional turbulence of severe hysteria and grief makes it very difficult to convey thought into actual dialogue, and the simple wording of a sentence becomes very challenging. Jennifer seems to be more concentrated on how she's being perceived, yet finds her words easily and executes her sentences perfectly.
One of the gentlemen asked my father if he had money in his wallet and where his wallet was. So they took me, because I was next to the stairwell, they took me up the stairs to show them where my father's wallet was. But I didn't know. They had turned the room upside down. I didn't know where his pants were at that time.
She could
The
be in
intruders
shock. This is
retrieve
bullshit.
$1,100 from the master bedroom and then tie Jennifer to the upstairs banister.
Next thing I know, I think I heard my parents going down the stairs, and my mom was asking them for me to come with them. They wouldn't let me come with them. And after they said, the last things I heard them say was, "You lied to us. You lied to us." And then I heard 2 pops. My mom screamed. I yelled out for her. And a couple more pops.
Take your time. Take your time.
And I think I heard my mom say or moan or something, and then they did one more before they left, and then one of the guys said, "We have to go now. It's been too long." And then they
Why
ran
is
up
your
the
chat
door.
sagging this bitch? Because
And I
chat will
think-
say anything, dude.
Once they were out the door, I heard my dad go up the stairs, and at that point,
Jennifer has clearly gotten her story straight beforehand, yet in the next moment appears to realize how unusual it is that she was able to make a phone call when her hands were tied behind her back to a banister. She hesitates, stutters, and even looks to the detective for approval twice before she quickly moves on.
I had my phone on me, behind me, that I had hidden there that they didn't know about. So I had my phone on me, behind me, that I had hidden there that they didn't.
Bro, see, no matter how fucking smart you are, and this is one of the smartest murderers we've seen so far, you still have holes, dude. These guys can't ever fucking put together like a full-blown... What do you mean? No, she's smart as fuck, dude. She's clearly very, very smart. Would you murder better than her? Fuck no, I'm an idiot, dude.
I didn't know about. So when I thought that they had heard them all leave.
Dumbass is in the chat. She was a C- student. She faked her grades. Yeah, dude, I know. Grades are the best indication that someone is smart or fucking stupid. Like, whose chat are we in right now? Like, what the fuck? I feel like a POS is killing bugs. What?
And my dad ran up the stairs. I whipped up the phone and I called 911.
Bro, she was able to dupe 2 adult human beings that gave birth to her for years. Lead them to believe that she literally got fucking all A's in high school and then got accepted into college. If you don't think that as a teenager being able to be crafty enough to be able to put that together is not a demonstration of intellect, like some kind of intelligence, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're crazy. Like, you're wild. Like, that's like charisma. She's just beefed up all of her fucking persuasion skills.
But I still hadn't heard anything from my mom, and all I could hear was my dad running on the street.
She's 24, but your point stands. No, motherfucker, she wasn't 24 when she was lying about her fucking high school grades, though. It's not hard to fake things. Yeah, okay, dude. Well, you can't even fake not being a fucking idiot in my chat.
Moaning and making sounds.
The detective then breaks the event down into components and has Jennifer go through each moment in more detail. The first of which is the appearance of the intruders. Jennifer now describes the one who appeared to be in charge.
The only thing I can remember was he had dreadlocks.
He had dreadlocks. So can you describe his race to me?
He was black.
Was his head covered? Was his face covered? Do you remember anything about that?
Just that his dreadlocks were kind of like flopping all over the place. I couldn't really see his face, and they kept the lights dark as much as possible.
Did he have a gun?
Yes.
Did you see the gun?
I only saw the top part of the gun.
What did it look like?
Kind of, it was black,
Yeah. Do you know where the other guys involved in this are?
I know one stayed with my parents.
Wait, Chat's getting mad that she said the dudes were black. I mean, they were black. She got her boyfriend to hire black dudes to do this. And so was the gun.
Downstairs.
Okay.
The other one, I'm not, at that point in time, I was more focused on him, like, he was seeing me and he was coming after me.
So you're saying there's 3 for sure?
Yes.
That's all, you saw a total of 3 at one time, you saw 3 people together?
Yes, when I went downstairs, I
Okay.
saw 3 shadows.
She details the appearances of the other 2 assailants, whom she asserts were also black males. The detective then brings her back to the one in charge.
Now the first guy who spoke to you, what kind of, did he have any accent?
None
it
that
clear?
I could make out.
Was it
Just
clear English?
English,
Unbroken?
unbroken.
No accent?
From the terms he used, I didn't get to pick up an accent, no. He used
So-
short phrases.
He sounded Canadian.
I would say, yes, he was born here.
He was born here.
She asserts that the second intruder didn't speak, while the third had a Caribbean accent. She then goes on to say she was taken downstairs for a brief moment and saw her parents under guard in the living room. Her father was asked where his wallet was, and he told them it was in the master bedroom. Jennifer was then taken back upstairs alone with 2 of the assailants to help them find it. They don't find the wallet, but instead retrieve a pile of cash from inside the nightstand. Jennifer was then tied to the upstairs banister and left alone as the intruders went back down.
And the next thing I can hear are them telling my parents to move to the basement.
Okay.
And I'm asking them, why, where are you going? And my mom's yelling to me, I want my daughter. Why can't my daughter come too? I want my daughter.
Jennifer then hears one of the intruders yell, "You lied to us."
Who do you hear yelling, "You lied to us," or to that
Number
extent?
3.
Number 3.
I'm assuming it's to my father. Because he was the one asking for the wallet.
Now you hear this commotion downstairs. You said you heard 2 pops. And you heard who scream?
My mom.
Your mom. And what was she screaming? Do you
I
remember?
couldn't make it out. It
No?
was kind of like a cry yell, so it was just,
Okay.
they had made the first round, or pop, and they had said, okay, that's enough. Let's go.
Who said that? Whose voice is that?
Number 1.
Okay.
And then I heard one more after that. And they're like, that's enough. Let's go.
Okay.
Yo, why does she go from fucking crying and being in tears to like accurately retelling every fucking moment that occurred with it in great detail with no emotion whatsoever? I mean, I know why, because she fucking did it, but like that would be suspicious. That'd be a sussy baka move.
And again, that's number 1.
Yes.
So what do you hear next? After you hear the scrambling, they're gone. Because you're hearing no more. I gather that's how you assume they're gone, is because you don't hear it. Then you hear your dad.
I reached for my phone at
Okay.
that point.
And you call 911. Okay. When your father exits, you hear the door open. Because you hear your dog, and then you
And then
see.
I can hear like the outside noises.
Okay.
Like the wind coming in, and I just hear my dad, I think he's...
You think that he's sustained some kind of injury because he's not. You can't understand what he's saying. Okay. What about? Can you hear your mom? Okay. Where does your dad go? Do you know where? You never see your dad again until when we're at the hospital. I think that's what you said, right?
I saw him when he was on the gurney.
Is there any
I'm not gonna even click on that link. I'm just gonna ban you for a day.
reason to suspect, or anything that's happened in the recent weeks leading up, that would have you guys be a target of some type of incident like this?
We live a straightforward, kind of almost routine life.
Whenever Jennifer smiles, it takes her a couple seconds to realize she's not exhibiting the correct behavior, and she then snaps back into her solemn stare. The 2 looks are so diametrically opposed to each other that it becomes glaringly obvious she's forcing one of the emotions.
What, in your opinion, would cause people to target your house to think that there was a large quantity of money?
I'm not sure.
Now, you say your mom drives a
Oh, this is a part of the plan where you didn't really, doesn't really make sense. Home invasions of this magnitude with like 3 fucking assailants, that's not exactly commonplace. That shit's not happening all the goddamn time. That does happen if you have a stash house, for example, and people know that you have a stash house, so you have a lot of cash in your house. That's usually the only, that's usually why this kind of 3-person like home invasions would ever occur. Okay? Because are you a cop now? No, motherfucker. I have a brain. Why the fuck? Why? I joke about this all the time whenever people say like, oh my God, I need an AR-15 to save my family, to defend my family from what? A death squad? What do you have in your family that would warrant, what do you have in your house that would warrant like multiple assailants coming in and trying to fucking steal from you? Okay? Hindsight Andy, no, this is something I talk about all the fucking time. This is something that I have talked about numerous times when I discuss like the necessity for an AR-15, which is a better gun to take down multiple assailants. But again, C-grade Rutgers student has criminal studies degree now. Wait, what? First of all, criminal studies, I fucking graduated with honors with a poli-sci degree, so I don't know what you're talking about. Criminal studies is like literally regarded as like a lesser degree than poli-sci. And also I graduated with a 3.75, so suck my cock. And even then it doesn't even matter. Not necessarily per se, but more guaranteed to drop someone than a handgun. No, okay, stop focusing on the AR-15 line there. The point is, I've talked about this before, like, home invasions do occur, okay? But oftentimes it's not going to be fucking, oftentimes it's not going to be unless, like, because that's a gigantic risk. Walking into someone's house with guns is a huge risk. They might have a fucking gun. No matter where you live, they might have a gun. They might be able to fucking defend themselves. So, in most circumstances, it's got to be fucking worth it. And it's not worth it to just, like, hit up a fucking random dude's house. You know what I'm saying?
Lexus.
It could be because of the aesthetics, yes.
What about your dad?
He drives a Mercedes and he loves that baby.
Is that right?
The
Loves
questions
that
end
baby.
here, and the detective leaves the room for half an hour to double-check if he needs any more information. After 15 minutes of Jennifer waiting alone, we're gifted with another performance of the startle reflex, only this time it's slightly less convincing.
I've been here longer than my last relationship. 3 months?
If investigators were certain of Jennifer's innocence, this would have been the first and last time she would have been questioned in such a manner. Police are extremely careful in how they involve victims in investigations as to not cause further unnecessary trauma. But on this particular occasion, it would come as no surprise that Jennifer's psychological well-being was of less concern. She was officially still a victim and witness, but unofficially a leading suspect. She was called back in to give another statement just 2 days later at 9 a.m. She was told the reason was to collect more details, but you'll notice that the line of questioning and the answers they attain have little to no use for anything outside of Jennifer's culpability. The actual reason for this second statement is to collect further information to use against her at a later stage. In this interview alone, they already start the process of cross-examination and start to catch her out in previous lies. Jennifer is still a witness at this moment, and the exchange is void of any direct confrontation. Yet she is still put under a modest amount of pressure, and the holes in her story start to become ever more apparent.
Take that first interview that we had, which was, hours after what had transpired, put it aside. It's almost like we've never spoken before. Okay?
Uh-oh.
So we're starting afresh. We're starting from new.
Oh, shit.
That way you're not going to say, I think I already told him that.
Time
Don't worry
to
about
throw
what you've already told him.
PogChamp, dude.
Do you, Jennifer Penn, swear or declare that the evidence that you give in this investigation shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
We're going to see if we've learned or if you've remembered anything else. And there's some questions with respect to that statement that I'm going to ask you about. Okay, but I'm going to let you start again, and let's move forward from any time in that day where you want to start. If it's the time you woke up or if it's the time that your first interaction, it's your choice.
Okay, I'm very nervous, and
why are you nervous? Tell me about why you're nervous.
Because I don't want to say the wrong things.
Because
that day was a lot.
You're right.
And I've been scattered, and so bits and pieces are here and some pieces aren't here, and I'm just...
So I want you to sit back in your chair. Okay, just sit back in your chair, take a deep breath. Okay, close your eyes, just follow my line, just sit back in the chair for a second, sit back, relax the best you can, close your eyes, and just breathe for a minute. Okay?
The most curious detail you've probably come to notice is this. It's known as a self-pacifying gesture. A person who does this is most often uncomfortable and sometimes fearful of what lies ahead. It's a coping mechanism to dissipate stress and afford self-assurance.
What I can remember is when I woke up, I had some breakfast.
She practices on the piano, studies piano history, plays games on her phone, and speaks with her friends on Facebook during the morning hours. Her mom leaves to visit her grandfather at around noon and returns at 3 p.m. to prepare dinner. Her father comes home at around 4:30 from work, and dinner is served 1 hour later. Her mother leaves for line dancing at 7, then returns at 9:30. Jennifer at this point is in bed talking with her friend on the phone, and her father is in the computer room. She then hears her mother loudly call out to her father.
What is she saying?
She's calling him by his name and to come down.
Okay, so give us verbatim. What do you hear her saying?
In Vietnamese, she's like, Hanoi.
I do this with my hands all the time.
She's clearly aware that she has to appear mournful over the subject matter, and sensibly draws out this...
Sure fucking seems like neurodivergent witnesses are absolutely fucked if they're questioned. Probably. Yeah. I mean, welcome to the world where everyone is fucking ableist as shit. I mean, dude, think about it this way. I mean, neurodivergent people get fucking framed for murder. Like, when they haven't done the thing. Like, that literally happens.
Emotion at the correct moments.
Yeah,
Yet
watch
what's
How to Make a
fascinating
Murderer.
is how she's unable to maintain this emotion when inquired over the same elements. In this very moment, she appears completely grief-stricken, but when the investigator inquires further, this supposed grief rapidly dissipates. It's extremely difficult to convincingly act out an emotion while evaluating a question. It requires two completely different parts of the brain, which is why most people can only do one of these things at a time. This is exactly what you see in the next moment,
Making a
and
murderer,
continuously
How to Make a Murderer,
throughout this
whatever.
interview.
And what does that translate to?
That's my father's name, Han. Come down here.
Does she say anything else associated with that?
I can't hear clearly because, like, I was on the phone and the TV was on,
Sure.
but that's what I heard.
Is she yelling? Or is it...
Neurodivergent means you have, like, a neurological disorder. Like, you have a disability. Okay? You're neuroatypical. Disabled, motherfucker. Disabled. I don't know how else to use it. Like, it's like the most... it's the most, like, appropriate way of saying, like, you're different than what would be otherwise, like, considered normal. Like ADHD, OCD, Asperger's, that sort of thing. Neuroatypical doesn't equal disabled? What the fuck? Doesn't neurodivergence mean like you're neuroatypical and also you have some kind of disability, a neurological disability? Being neurodivergent isn't a disability. How fucking neurotypical of you? You can be neurodivergent if you're from a different culture. Wait, what? Bro, we are describing a concept to people who do not have any sort of contextual understanding. You are yelling at me for using a different term to describe something to someone who just simply does not understand it. Okay? A person who asks, what is neurodivergent? I'm trying to fucking describe it to them in the way that they will understand if they've never heard what this is. Neurodivergent refers to an individual who has less typical cognitive variations such as autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia. Neurotypical refers to individuals with typical development. Neuroatypical is what I said. And intelligent cognitive functioning. ASD chatter here using disabled is actually preferred to words like special. You are neurodivergent having ADHD, and I'm also neurodivergent having autism. It's a spectrum of abilities and development. They're full of shit. Neurodivergent literally means disabled / mentally ill. Mentally disabled equals neurodivergent, but not neurodivergent equals mentally disabled. What? Dude, you're making it more confusing. You're literally making it more confusing. For people who don't understand neurodivergent, it just means that you have some kind of like mental disability, okay? But it's a varying degree. It's like a fucking big window, okay? I'm fucking neurodivergent. Okay? Because I have ADHD. That's just like... Alright? That's how it is. God damn, bro. Shut up, everybody, about, like, idiotic fucking semantic shit, okay? Oh my god. Now motherfuckers are gonna be like, Hasan, you're literally being ableist because I can't help myself from fucking parsing through every fucking semantic difference here, and you are being ableist by not letting me fucking make a larger argument about a semantic difference that is otherwise not important. Shut the fuck up. Yes, I'm ableist. Yes, I am also neurodivergent. Yes, we exist. Shut the fuck up.
It's a loud, she's not yelling, but it's a loud tone.
Okay.
She then hangs up the phone with her friend once she hears the commotion.
As I'm hanging up the phone with him, I hear footsteps going up the stairs.
Okay.
But they're heavier footsteps than what is to be expected from my parents.
Okay.
Jennifer hears unfamiliar voices, so she opens her door to investigate. She has spoken for 2 minutes up to this point without being interrupted, and once again manages to build up her emotion to correlate with a supposedly terrifying event. Yet as soon as the detective interjects with a question, we once again see this emotion dissipate.
I peered out, and there was a person in what would have been my brother's room.
And where's your brother's room located?
Just a little bit down the, I could see from my doorway to his doorway, just a little bit down the hall.
Okay.
The first intruder then robs Jennifer at gunpoint before taking her to the ground floor, where she then sees her parents sitting next to each other.
From where I was standing, my father was sitting on the right, and my mother was sitting on the left.
Sitting where?
On a couch, on our couch.
Sitting on the couch. Are they looking out towards you?
No, their backs are towards me.
Okay. And you're now on the ground level? Are you on the floor? Or on the sitting on the stairs?
Floor. I'm sitting on the floor.
All right, where are your hands?
They had tied my hands,
so let's
as
go,
I said.
Let's go back up to the stairs. Remember we said...
Yo, notice how the dude is no longer questioning with, like, kitty gloves? I feel like he's sussing her out a little bit. He's like, you're being a sussy little baka right now, and just saying.
Her emotional display in seeing her parents in distress gradually faded after each interjection, but you'll now see it completely cease altogether once she realizes that she made her first mistake. Everything she had said up to this point correlated with her initial statement, but she had just forgot to mention that she was first tied up before being taken downstairs, and only brought it up when reminded by the detective.
Take the other statement and whatever we've said before.
No, I said it earlier.
She didn't say she was tied up earlier. She completely forgot to mention it and seems to be trying to convince the detective otherwise. It's a moment of slight panic, which becomes far more pronounced when you compare it to her supposed grief-stricken recollection 5 seconds earlier. The detective doesn't challenge this, as it can be used against her at a much later stage, and the main objective at this point is to collect as much conflicting information as possible.
Okay, then let's get back to that area. I think you might have touched on it. We went back into the description. So where do you get your hands tied, and where does the string come from?
I'm not sure where the string comes from, but he had the string.
Okay.
And after I gave him my money, that's when he tied my hands.
She is then taken downstairs where she sees her mother being interrogated by the second assailant over the whereabouts of the cash. According to her first statement, the second assailant never said a word the entire time.
He had pushed her back onto the couch, and
Who pushed her?
Number 2.
Okay.
He was pushing her back onto the couch. And she kept saying, "Where's my purse? Where's my purse?" And the guy kept telling her to sit down, and I didn't want my mom to get hurt.
I don't know if this is fucked up or not. I don't know if this is fucked up
How
or
many
not, but I
times does
literally
she
feel
get
like
up
being a
and get-
detective is kind of like playing Among Us, but with like real stakes. Like the more I watch it, the more I'm like, this is like you have to have a comprehensive understanding of like all of the events that took place. You have to analyze the scenery. You have to literally fucking catch people in contradicting stories, shit like that. I mean, Among Us is a lot like being a detective. Sorry.
Push back down.
I'd say she got up twice.
Has number 2 uttered a word at this point in time?
I can't remember hearing him.
Okay. So we're just correcting what you said earlier, because you said earlier that it was number 2 who was asking where the purse is, and now you've said now it's number 1 guy who would
I'm
initially...
sorry, it's just...
No. It's all a purpose. The purpose here is clarifying what you're saying. So number 1
I just
is...
don't want to...
Number 1 is the one who's doing the talking about the purse. Number 3 is focused on your dad's wallet. Okay.
Jennifer continues to make contradictions and is forced to correct herself multiple times after she notices the puzzled gaze from the detective. He inquires over the appearance of assailant number 2, who is wearing a hoodie according to the first statement.
Do you get a good look at number 2 now of what he's wearing?
All I could tell was he had a vest, and his face was like a long oval face.
He had a vest?
No, hoodie.
Okay.
Dark hoodie.
Okay. Did you see them recover anything inside your mom and dad's room?
I did not see anything, no.
Are you sure? Because when we spoke the last time, there was some mention of some other money that went missing.
I believe when they were looking for my father's wallet, they had opened the drawer. And it was in an envelope.
What drawer would that have been in?
If you're at the doorway where I was standing on the left side, the bedside table.
Whose side of the bed is it?
That's my mother's side of the bed.
Okay.
More than likely a total coincidence, yet she almost appears to be praying that she gave the correct response. Fortunately for her, she was correct on this occasion.
And approximately how much money?
I'm not sure how much she took out for our trip, but I can only estimate about a few $100s.
Few hundred, because at the time, the last time you told me, you were pretty adamant about
$1,100.
$1,100. So I'm curious to know how you came up with that number.
You are being such a sussy little baka.
I believe because when we were at the border, we stopped at the duty free. My mother was deciding whether to use her U.S. currency or her U.S. currency or her Canadian currency.
So it was at that time you remember hearing $1,100, and is that the inference you're saying? Is that because you're pretty solid saying that it was $1,100 that went missing, that was taken, and that you saw it when we spoke. And who took it? Who took possession of the money?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The detective lets the contradiction slide once more. Jennifer is then brought to the moment where the intruders had just left, and she is
Dude, no matter how fucking skilled you are, no matter how much you think this shit through, clearly it still falls apart, dude. Okay? You're just never, you're never well prepared enough to obviously get away with, you know, hiring a hitman to murder your parents. That's what we're learning today. That's what I'm learning, at least, from this story. That's the moral of this story.
tied to the upstairs banister.
Let's come back to now. You're being taken to the banister in the upper level. Don't apologize, okay? I'm going to try and ask you questions to try and clarify points.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, if you don't remember, you don't remember. Okay, so there's no apologizing. The only reason you would apologize to me is if you lied to me.
No.
Okay,
No, it's
so
then
in this case, then don't apologize to me. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to ask you questions to clarify points.
Okay.
You're now bound to the railing. Can you show me, can you stand up and turn around and tell me, just show on the camera, how your hands are bound? And how you are against the railing. You don't have to sit down. I just need to see how you were.
Just tell you.
The only reason that I'm trying to, I need to do this is that I'm also going to ask you is that so take this back take it out of a traumatizing event, which it is, and put yourself into a more clinical position, because I want to see how you could physically get your phone out of your waistband. We're obviously going to need to know that. It's very important. So traumatize away, now put yourself into
I once convinced my parents that there were no parent-teacher meetings for like half a year before they caught on. That's my claim to fame. Wow, dude. You're just like Jennifer, who murdered her parents. Pretty sick, dude. Good job.
the state of I need to mechanically show how I can get access to my phone. Okay, because that's obviously very relevant. We know you made the phone call, but questions are going to obviously raise is that if my hands are bound and I'm against the railing, how do I talk to a 911 operator?
True. I mean, that's the dumbest too. It's like the easiest way to get caught. What a fucking...
Just stand up, focus in on how you did it. And I want you to stick that in your waistband as an example. Okay, so just take your sweater off, because this will be a very smooth, very quick thing. It's a one-time demonstration. I'm not going to ask you to repeat it.
The two critical parts of this demonstration are where Jennifer states she was tied, and the movement of her arms as she takes her phone out of her pocket. The investigator is hoping the mechanics of the two components would be illogical and contradict each other.
I tied my upper arm.
Yes.
Around the banister.
Yes.
But my hands were bound together.
So your hands bound together, and this is the arm that's the strings wrapped around against the.
She had a couple days to literally practice this physically, by the way. And if she hasn't, that's like terrible. Oh, thanks, Mom.
Banister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now how can you get to the phone? And how do you make the phone call?
Whether it be a stroke of luck or that Jennifer had prepared for this moment, this actually made sense. Had her arms gone left or the point of restraint been below the elbow, none of this would have been possible. It's perhaps the single moment where Jennifer's statement was somewhat beneficial to her defense. We know Jennifer was tied up when police arrived, but the assumption was that she had her phone in her hands the entire time and wouldn't have had to retrieve it from her waistband. She can now argue that this portion of her testimony is genuine.
911?
Mm-hmm.
And do you talk down like that?
Yes, I'm yelling at the phone like this.
And how can you hear?
I turned the volume on max.
Yes? So that's exactly the way that you're talking to her against the railing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good enough. Sit down.
Jennifer is then brought back to the moment just before she heard the gunshots.
At this point, I started hearing my parents get up. And they're moving. And my mom's yelling, "Where's my daughter? I want my daughter. Where's my daughter?" And I'm yelling, "Mom, I'm here."
Here. Jennifer, take a Kleenex and just take a minute.
You'll notice that she doesn't wipe her eyes or blow her nose, just buries her face in the tissue, which the detective later testified remained completely dry.
What the fuck? They look at that? These guys are demons, bro. You can't out shark these motherfuckers. Who checks the Kleenex, dude? Are there nose dookies in there? What was he going in to see? Like how they would taste or something? I don't understand. We check the Kleenex.
So we're now down in the basement. They're down in the. You know your parents are down in the basement.
I heard pop. And then my mom. I heard her squeal.
Multiple pops occur thereafter before she hears the intruders leave through the front door.
Once the door closed, I heard my father. He ran up the stairs and all I could hear was moaning. Dad. Once I heard him starting to move, that's when I pulled out the phone and I was trying to call 911.
This is untrue. She only realized her father was alive midway through the 911 call. And in that exact moment, you can actually hear genuine fear in her voice compared to her fabricated panic the moment before.
Some people broke into our house and paid us all his money. Ma'am, where are you? What? Avenue Road. Yeah. Can you spell the name for me, please? Dad?
The final part of this statement is collecting information to set up the main strategy for Jennifer's interrogation that will take place 10 days later. They go through Jennifer's past and gather intel to lay the foundation for what's known as the how and why solution, which will be explained in further detail at a later stage.
What I want to do now is I want to go into your past, okay? And start talking about.
Dude, I'm sorry. They're doing that thing again where it's like, well, this is called the how and why solution. Oh, you mean like fucking building motive, dude? That's crazy. I didn't realize there was a specific name for motive. No, it's called the how and why solution.
Things that have been going on with you.
The detective now morphs into a therapist, and what's fascinating is how Jennifer doesn't once question the new line of inquisition. Many argue that it was the first time Jennifer was even asked about such matters, giving reason for her willingness to open up. This may have been the first time in her life she was able to process her frustrations and vent to someone who appeared to care. The first topic is her parents, and the expectations and pressures she was under to succeed, which led to her faking her grades and then her college degree as to not be a disappointment.
How did you feel about that? How did you feel about having to lie to your parents?
Oh my God, that's the biggest self-report, dude.
Bring it up. There was just so much expectation.
Did you have any resentment towards them for this?
I chose what I chose, but in the end I chose my family.
Guys, this is a little known technique called the asking questions solution, where the detective will ask questions to get answers out of her.
She just referred to the ultimatum she was given by her father, the choice to live at home and go back to school, or be completely cut off by her parents and live with her boyfriend. Information gathering on Jennifer's past goes on for roughly 2 hours and 20 minutes. The detective then ends the exchange by putting her under some pressure. It's not a direct confrontation, but it's by far the most uncomfortable position she's been in up to this point. The detective subtly switches back to the home invasion and how the intruders were able to gain access without breaking in.
Like you didn't hear a doorbell, you didn't hear a door knock, you didn't hear a door kicked in, you didn't. I
was watching TV on the phone. I don't know how.
Yeah, I know. We went over that back and forth. We don't know how.
Uh-oh.
So somehow they got into your house by getting through your mom down on the lower level, right? Because she's the only one who's down there.
She was the only one down there.
So,
bro, have you never watched a fucking crime movie? Like, that's literally the first thing that detectives look at is like no sign of forced entry. It seems the suspects knew the victim. Like, you know what I mean? That's like straight up some CSI 101 shit, dude.
It's very confusing. Generally, random events are not, in most cases, random. There's a rhyme or reason why they've come to your house.
Yep.
But from what you've told me inside the house, the only thing that you hear them saying to you is they're looking for money.
Yep. And
They're
you
not
don't do
looking
a
for a
fucking
specific
armed robbery
quantity of
like that for no reason.
So you're telling me that you had no involvement in what happened, meaning not saying how the outcome came, but you had no involvement in any type of illegal activity that would have drawn you or the attention of you to have bad people come to your house looking for large sums of money. You're not involved in this any which way. Because the question obviously stands, Jennifer, is you're upstairs and they're downstairs.
No.
Right? So it's a natural concern when, why would they leave you alone? Why would they not do the same to you?
Yeah, why wouldn't they murder her? Why would they know there's fucking money in the house? Like, who has cash in their fucking house, dude? The real question is, why don't you have a lawyer, dog? Lawyer up. I don't know why. I am not siding with the murderer here, okay? I'm just simply stating that, like, I'm not defending her. Look at my lawyer, dog. He's invisible. I'm going to jail.
You can't answer that question?
The only thing I can say is he said I cooperated. But I asked him to take me.
The number
with my
one
mom.
guy? The number one guy said you cooperated. Okay. Who's to say this whole thing isn't a lie? That what you're telling me is a lie? Because if you are lying, it's the most cold-blooded thing that I've ever faced in my life.
God damn, he said it. Like, you ever read this manga called Death Note?
There is nothing that you've said to me today is a lie. Now, back to another very difficult question. But if I don't ask it, it's an obvious one. The resentment that you may have had towards your parents for the interference in your relationship and your life and essentially locking you down in your house.
At the end of the day, I love my parents and I chose to be with them. And if I wanted to, I could have just left, but I didn't. I wanted to stay with them and take care of them.
What?
So this wasn't some evil plot that you thought up to...
Bro. That's not even something you would say. You'd be like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, it doesn't matter that I resent my family for fucking being restrictive. Like, everyone's parents are fucking restrictive in some way. I still love them. That's what you would say if you're a fucking innocent person. Not like, I chose to stay with them. That is way too much of a fucking hyper-rational and hyper-logical fucking response to someone being like, did you murder your parents? That's a ginormous red flag, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I chose to stay with them is a fucking, is like a very weird thing to do. Are the parents also at fault in this case? No, dude, no. Bad parenting, unless like bad parenting literally means like child abuse and like physically trying to murder your child, and then in self-defense your child murders you. Outside of that, like, no, the parents aren't fucking at fault for being murdered by their daughter. A murder. You're crazy, Chatter, you fucking sick freak.
Oh my god, no.
Okay,
no interaction.
Everybody
no
needs
belief,
to calm the fuck down. Everyone who keeps saying she's hot, like, dude, just keep it to yourself, okay?
You didn't have anything to do with this thing at all, whatsoever. You don't engage in illegal activity.
Murder.
Because you know that it'll be very easily, it will be a very easy thing to discredit you on, right? We're in the process of trying to add credibility to what you tell us, and that's through the process of asking people and doing whatever. Through that same process, it will be very easy to find the flaws in what you've said, which again then turns the focus back to you. Okay? It's a natural progress. It's a natural thing that investigators do. We eliminate people, or we draw our attention to them. It's a natural thing. It's not brain surgery. Okay?
The detective leaves the room for 20 minutes to allow Jennifer to stew in her own thoughts before they end the statement. He comes back to add one last bit of psychological pressure that he carefully disguises as reassurance. Jennifer will leave terrified, but still believe the police are on her side.
Okay, we're done, essentially. How are you feeling?
Sorry, you really scared me.
Did I? What did I scare you about? Sit down and take a load off. Tell me how you're feeling. And how I scared you. I don't want you walking away from here thinking I'm evil. I want you to walking around from here thinking that this guy is helping investigate my mom's murder, and he's going to turn over every stone possible to make sure that we catch the people who do that. That's what I want you feeling. So I don't want you walking away from here thinking that I scared you, or I'm a bad man. Sometimes we have to ask very, very difficult questions, but it's my job. Okay? You're our only link. You're it. Until your dad regains his back and being able to be spoken to. Right now, you're our only link to this case.
Bro, Dad survived it? Oh my God. Oh, she done fucked up, dude. That's crazy. Plot twist. I survived, bitch.
Her father had bullet fragments lodged in his face that doctors couldn't remove, and a shattered neck bone. At the time of this interview, the consensus was that if he did regain consciousness, he would be useless as a witness due to irreversible brain damage.
So we may rely on you heavily until we can speak to your father.
God damn it,
okay?
Dude.
So don't be afraid. If you've told the truth, the last thing you should be afraid of is anything. If you've told the truth and you've been truthful through this whole process, then you're helping.
God.
You're doing your part. Okay? And don't be afraid of me.
I'm just afraid because, like, I know everything is just all pointing negatively right now, and I don't understand why. I feel that, like, the way you're speaking to me, it's kind of like, I know you said that you had to say those things, but it's here, and I've already said it to the special victims yesterday, but there's, like, ideas in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to say it out loud. But
ideas about speculation of what happened? How it happened? Unfortunately, at times some of us have to point the finger, seem like we're pointing the finger, and it really is just to provoke you to see what you're going to do, how you're going to respond. Okay? So it's only a question, and it's been answered, and if you've been truthful, okay, you have nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing. Okay?
Police kept Jennifer under close observation from this point forward. A surveillance detail was assigned to track her every movement, and she was even monitored at her mother's funeral 3 days later. According to reports, she was emotionless the majority of the time, only showing what appeared to be feigned grief at certain moments. She never shed a single tear, and kept her eyes to the floor or completely shut for the entirety of the service. Jennifer's father had in fact awoken from his induced coma the day prior, and miraculously seemed to remember everything from the night of the incident.
What?
He would give an official statement in secret on November 16th, and multiple parts of his story contradicted what Jennifer had told police. The most significant detail was that she was never tied up, but instead walking around freely and talking with the intruders as if they were friends. He actually spoke with Jennifer over the phone, but was informed by investigators to act amnesic and not to confront her, only to ask her if she thought her ex-boyfriend was behind it. She stated that she was almost certain he wasn't. The only issue with Han's statement was that he had suffered minor brain damage from the gunshot, which could be used by a defense team to refute his testimony in court, or even get it thrown out altogether. Furthermore, it was essentially his word against
Hero. Also, you could throw that out on a technicality, but like, what dad would literally make that up about their daughter after they've been fucking shot in the goddamn head? It's like, I lived, and also now I want to frame my daughter before I fucking die. Like, motherfucker literally said, I saw her vent, dude. I saw her faking tasks. I saw her vent.
Against Jenenifers, and their turbulent relationship would also work greatly in the defense's favor. York Regional Police knew they needed a confession for the best possible chance at securing a conviction, so they assigned
chatters who are saying like, oh my god, you idiot, they're saying he has brain damage. What kind of brain damage causes you to literally fucking create a fake narrative, dumbass chatter? Which we have the benefit of hindsight of knowing that it wasn't even a fake narrative, but like, let's say you don't know. Let's say you don't know, like, no, when you have brain damage, you are clouded. Your judgment is clouded, or maybe like you got brain damage with a bullet lodged in your brain, so you can't really, you don't have like perfect recall. What brain damage goes, oh my god, like my daughter was walking around freely? Like at most, the dad would probably just be like, I don't remember any of the events. Frontal lobe damage can change personality. Okay, but changing in personality doesn't mean that you're gonna fucking concoct an entirely different
their most experienced investigator to conduct Jenenifers' interrogation. She was called back into the Markham police station on the 22nd of November at 2:30 p.m., a week and a half after the incident took place.
So just for the record, it is the 22nd of November 2010. We're at the 5 District Station in the town of Markham. My computer right now says 2:39 in the afternoon. Okay. Just for the record, my name is Detective William Gates. You can just call me Bill here today. And what do you like to be called?
Jen.
Jen? Yep. What do you prefer, Jen or Jennifer?
Doesn't matter.
Either or? Okay. So Jen, you're aware that the audio tape and everything's on. It's the same as last time. Okay. You've been here on 2 other occasions, I understand, on the 9th of November and I believe again on the 11th of November. Is that correct? Okay. And do you know why we're here today?
Just to discuss stuff.
Yeah. Regarding what?
The,
Dude, I can't believe they literally brought down Bill Gates, the founding father of Microsoft, to do this investigation. It's actually crazy. Just saying.
so what happened at my home?
Okay. And as a result of that home invasion, your father, Pan, was actually shot, and your mother, Vic Pan, was actually killed. Is that correct? Yeah, you'll have to speak up a little bit just so I can hear you.
Sorry, yes.
Okay.
What's unique about this interrogator is how he immediately adopts a no-nonsense approach, yet manages to build rapport and remain sympathetic at the same time. You'll see that he has far less patience compared to the previous investigator, yet seems to create a stronger connection with the suspect. It's a hard thing to explain, but easily observed as you'll soon find out.
So that's what we're going to discuss here today.
Jennifer this time around has read her rights to silence rather than her rights as a witness. If she knew anything about the law in Canada, she would be wise to the fact that she is now a suspect. Fortunately for the investigator, she remains completely naive to the situation throughout the opening phase of the interrogation, making her far more susceptible to the strategy he is about to employ.
Okay, just hold on a second. Okay, we're having technical difficulties here. Okay, so that's why they interrupted me. What we're going to do is...
This is called a technical difficulty technique, where you act like you have a technical difficulty.
If you don't mind holding tight there, I'm just going to move my equipment to the other room. Okay, and then I'll come over and we'll move over there, next door, okay?
I'm just not comfortable being on my own.
Okay, I'm going to be right here, though. Okay?
With respect to interrogations, it's common knowledge that the psychological manipulation begins before a single word is spoken. The physical layout of the room is designed to accelerate the sense of discomfort and isolation, and it's fascinating to observe how each interrogator has their own unique methods of setting the tone. Knowing how this interrogation plays out allows us to realize this detective's procedure. The considerable distance between him and the suspect will keep her relaxed enough to be influenced by Phase 1, but this same distance will intensify the pressure once he eventually closes it during Phase 2. You'll notice this detective is slow with his first strategy, but swift with the second. He takes his time in building trust and establishing rapport, yet once this initial connection is secured, the transition to aggression will be abrupt and ever increasing from that point forward. Jennifer takes a seat in the room 15 minutes since she was first informed of her rights. It's important to note that she is still free to leave at any time at this point. She is unknowingly a suspect, but not under arrest.
So just for the record, this room is being videotaped and audio taped, just like the other one, okay? And I'm just going to grab my chair from across the way, okay? Okay.
The detective goes through Jennifer's history of teaching piano and her earlier years of high-level figure skating, which was cut short due to injury.
If you didn't get injured, would you still be doing it? Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. And did you, as far as that, did you do like competition skating or? Okay. And how did you do with that?
I wasn't at the top of the pack, but just the middle average.
Yeah, so that's good though. But you did actually enjoy it. It was more than just going for competition. You enjoyed actually doing it.
I was petrified of the competition.
Okay. All right. Do you have any students right now? Or?
No.
Okay. And why not?
The students I were teaching, they went to high school and lost interest.
Okay. Yeah, too big for piano. Yeah, I took it in grade school too, but I think I went to grade 7 in it, I think. Like when I was in grade 7, I stopped taking it, but I still remember Swans on the Lake. I know how to play that, that's about it.
The detective then goes through Jennifer's work history as a server before touching on her future plans in education. Jennifer mentions that she plans to go by her parents' wishes and pursue a career in healthcare, at which point the primary strategy is initiated: the how and why solution. The detective gradually begins to shift the blame away from the suspect and onto another set of circumstances that prompted the suspect to commit the crime. He starts developing a theme that will afford her a psychological justification in doing it, and this theme will be further established as the interrogation progresses. It starts off subtle so that she...
They didn't say this with like the Chris dude, but they kind of did that with him too. But he didn't mention it as the how and why technique when he was talking about the Chris guy. Did he? Did he? Because that's how they got him as well, where they were like establishing a motive for like a separate, like an alternative solution. You know what I mean? But I don't think they called it the how and why solution.
Remains oblivious to the agenda.
Now, if you could pick any job yourself, I'm not talking about anybody else, but if you could pick for yourself, what would it be?
I'm going to be a piano teacher on like when I come home. But in the daytime, I'd like to have a simple, maybe like a lab technician job, just work 8 hours a day, and then come home.
God damn it! God damn it! Stop! 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 I've been trying to find a good moment to do a segue. I had such a good one planned, dude. Stop! I've been waiting. I've been stalling since the beginning of 4 p.m. You guys have... You just... Come on! Fucking assholes, dude. How is this any way to consume content? You're just looking at your fucking clock the entire time, waiting for the top of the hour so you can call me out ahead of time. God damn it. A 60-second ad break is coming. You've been spamming for 5 minutes. I literally thought you would stop. I literally thought you would stop at some point, but no. Ad break, ad break, ad break, ad break, ad break. It's coming. Ad break incoming. You even had your tomatoes lined up. Top of the fucking hour, dude. It's time for a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Fuck. You broke my fucking frame, dude. Subscribe with a Twitch Prime for free, bitch. Here's the fucking ad break now. God damn it, dude. Literally did not stop. Like, you guys were just straight up just fucking spamming it, dude. I'm just gonna start fucking hitting you with ads randomly. I hope you're happy.
This is an answer the detective was hoping for. Jennifer's preferred career choice is at odds with what her parents...
Because I had such a good one planned for this, dude. I'm not even gonna tell you. I had such a good one. Like, I was like, literally, I was like, this is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so fucking good. I'm not gonna tell you.
...wanted. So he now builds on the concept of the overly controlling parent and the unfair limitations it causes the child. He then links this concept with the subject of Jennifer's boyfriend and how she was kept from seeing him.
Now, eventually you were discussing Daniel. What happened with that relationship?
He's doing the exact same thing that the other guys did with Chris when they said your wife is the one who murdered the children, right? Like, and you had to do what you had to do. So that's now the motive there is just like, no, it wasn't the ad technique. That one's like kind of good too. I thought about that, but that's cheeky. I have a better one. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway.
For my parents at first, they didn't agree with me having a boyfriend.
Okay.
And once they found out, they didn't like the fact that he was of mixed race.
Okay.
And they told me to stop seeing him.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
That he was the person who just filled an empty void for me. So it felt that a part of me was missing.
When you broke up, you felt the part was missing? Is that what you're saying?
When they first told me to stop seeing him, stop talking to him, I felt like a part of me was missing, and I fell into a little bit of depression.
Okay. How did they find out?
One day when my mother came to pick me up, she saw me with him. He had dropped me off.
Okay. Dropped you off.
At Pacific Mall, and my mother was
Done.
coming to pick me
Got
up.
him. GG, pack it up.
And somehow they saw each other, I guess?
Oh, my mother saw me hugging, kissing goodbye.
Okay. That gave it away. What happened next then?
How'd they find Oot?
My mother at first was like, bring him home, let us meet him. And when I brought him home, they automatically didn't like him for some reason.
Okay.
And that's when they told me to stop seeing him.
Okay. So you were told to stop seeing him. So what happened then?
At first I stopped for a while. But like I said, I just felt really empty and I felt just depression, and
okay.
I started talking to him again.
Jennifer then goes on to explain in further detail how she carried on the relationship in secret and how it became more and more of a struggle hiding it from her parents.
Now, how has Daniel taken it when your parents said that you couldn't see him anymore? How did he take it?
He was hurt.
Yeah.
Yo, there's some real fucking freaks in the chat who keep saying, well, the parents were really bad. The parents were really bad. Like, you guys really are freaking me out a little bit, okay? I'm going to need you to dial it back like 11 degrees for saying, like, the parents were really bad. None of that is an excuse to fucking murder your parents, okay? Turning into a murder-dirter is not all right. I can't believe I'm doing an SNL joke.
And how did you feel?
Also hurt.
Also hurt. Okay.
She then goes on to explain that she was living with Daniel at his parents' house for 2 years, while her own parents thought she was studying at a university.
And his parents were, I guess, more liberal than your parents.
His parents, they loved me.
Yeah, okay. And
Not anymore.
they recognized that you loved each other.
Jennifer recounts how she bought a fake diploma for $500 to show her parents, and the many other avenues she went down to keep the lie going. She eventually gets to the day she was found out.
How did you end up back home, I guess?
They called up my friend, who I said I was staying with, in the middle of the night, and she was groggy and forgot what day it was, and so she's like, "Isn't she home?" And I wasn't home.
Okay. She messed up.
I don't blame her, but
No. Okay.
Jennifer then goes on to explain the ultimatum she was given and the restrictive measures that were put in place so that she wouldn't be able to see her boyfriend.
So how has that felt, being under those guidelines for the last 18 months?
it was okay. It wasn't the best feeling in the world because, I just felt like trapped.
Okay.
But it's what I chose to be with my family.
Okay. And so you made a choice between what?
Living out on my own with Daniel and staying home with my parents.
Did you feel you really had a choice or not?
There was no choice because family always comes first.
Okay. And where do you get that from? Where do you get that belief? Okay. So family's number one?
Yes.
The detective then brings up Jennifer's earlier assertion of being depressed and then affiliates it with the restrictive measures she was living under.
What was the worst the depression got?
I cut myself.
Okay. And when did that happen? Where did you cut?
On my wrist. And
Chat, stop telling people that she's fidgeting her foot. Now that's all people are going to focus on. Oops.
once people started noticing, I'd hide it other places, but
Okay.
never twice in the same spot.
So how many cuts do you have on you?
Now, none.
None? They've healed? Okay. And did you want to kill yourself?
Yes.
Jennifer asserts that she tried to kill herself when she was 19 by overdosing on sleeping tablets. She also states that her self-harm was a distractor from the pain and frustrations she was going through.
Did you ever feel that they expected too much of you?
Didn't he just
Also.
severely abuse her? It doesn't justify murder, but it's more than just bad parenting.
Okay. So who would they compare you to?
I mean, they had like very fucking high expectations of her.
Classmates, clubmates.
They were overbearing and annoying.
Okay. And so some of them have been successful recently? Okay. And what did they say to you?
Wish you could have been that person.
Okay. So that's pretty hard, right? Hard to take for you?
What I've heard all my life. Nothing.
Okay. Did you ever feel like, I know you're smart and they believe you're very smart, but did you ever feel you weren't?
I don't know, man. I like, look, I'm from a different part of the planet, from a different time. Okay, I'm aging myself with this. Like, yeah, their parents were fucking bad, but I don't know enough to. None of it is justifiable, obviously. Like, nothing justifies murder, but like, chatter saying they're being abusive and whatever. One, feels kind of sus because you're like literally believing someone's word verbatim when that person is like literally a fucking murderer and has been lying about all this shit, and this is a liar's testimony. And two, like even the way she describes shit, like, oh, my parents forced me to do this, they forced me to do that, like it doesn't feel like what? Oh, okay, that was a good one. It doesn't feel like it was, from my point of view, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm from a different era, maybe I'm from fucking a different part of the planet, but like they're just doing like typical fucking immigrant parent shit. They're being annoying, overbearing, they're being helicopter parents. But like I feel like abuse is different. You know what I mean? It's still abuse though, dude. Okay, dude. Yes, I know. 14-year-old anarchist in the chat. It's still abuse. Mental abuse is still fucked though. I know, but like, what do they do that's like mental abuse? I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood certain parts. Like, what are you considering abusive in their actions? Forcing her to live with them under their rules when she's over 18? That's abuse? Okay, we definitely have different takes on what abuse is, dude. No, we literally have like, sorry. At first I didn't understand like what you guys were talking about, and now I understand that you're doing that thing where you like literally consider everything that is like, what the fuck, dude? What are you guys talking about that? She wasn't allowed to see her boyfriend. Could you imagine dealing with something like that? Yeah, I can. Can you not? I mean, I'm thankful my parents weren't like that, but yeah. You think parents being like, you can't hang out with your boyfriend, we don't like your boyfriend, is abuse? Are you fucking out of your mind, dude? Yo, what is happening right now in my chat? Please explain what is happening in my chat right now. What the fuck is happening, dude? Is this like literally 14-year-olds who like unironically try to apply like dialectical materialist values to like the dynamic? Not even dialectical materialist, actually. This sounds like fucking 14-year-old anarchists. Like white 14-year-old anarchists being like, this is an unjustifiable hierarchy, actually, as a matter of fact. Parenting is authoritarian by nature. And this is a hierarchy that must be abolished, Mom. You need to make me my chicken tendies right now, Mom. What you're doing currently by not allowing me to eat the chicken tendies is literally abuse. Yo, y'all sound like, I mean, I'm sorry, not to like minimize your disowning your child because you don't like their career choices abuse. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's like serious. And also, I don't believe that's serious because she's a fucking murderer who's lying in this process, trying to get out of lying about executing a fucking hit out on her parents. So what is mental abuse? Locking her in a fucking room, not allowing her to leave like for extended periods of time, neglecting, yelling, saying fucking that she's a loser, breaking her down, breaking her fucking confidence, slowly but surely. I don't know, just like regular abuse, not just fucking I don't know. Not like grounding someone, which is like a normal parent thing to do. Or, I don't fucking know, saying your boyfriend's a drug dealer and we kind of don't like that and we will fucking ground you if you keep fucking dating this dude. Normal parent stuff, guys. Y'all are fucking being crazy right now. What the fuck? All serial killers watching a sign. Yeah, I got like 50,000 14-year-olds waiting. Disowning isn't abusive? No, if saying like, we're going to disown you if you do this, that can be abusive. I just don't believe that like they said that to her. She's a grown-ass woman though. They're so controlling, dude. Oh, interesting. So just say that. Say they're controlling. You're saying they're abusive. Dude, yeah, this is like, is this like the Minecraft stand part of the community? Grounding a child is ageist. Imagine if you grounded a grown adult because they used a swear word or something. This is a pretty good take. Maybe stay in your own lane on this one. You're trying to explain what abuse is in regards to a woman of color. Oh, that's so good, dude. That's a good one. Look, this motherfucker goes, move on. Oh, no, that's from earlier. Never mind. I was going to say, trying to avoid the stun lock, participating in the stun lock personally. Grounding me for not doing my homework is literally abuse, dude. Also, it doesn't have to be just physical abuse. You can be mentally abused by your family. For sure. Like there is a very real psychological trauma and abuse that children are inflicted upon. I mean, or children experience, for sure. I just I don't know, seeing like what she is describing doesn't fit that metric for me. And the areas where like it could fit that metric, like you know, saying we're gonna disown you, it just seems like fucking fake bullshit. But once again, leftist chat, very typical of leftist chat, to literally behave this way, where leftist chat is behaving in a way where it's like there is no gray area. It's only like, it's either you've traumatized me by gaslighting me and fucking emotionally abused me, or you're perfectly fine. Like, there is no like, oh, they're just fucking bad parents who were also very concerned about the development of their daughter. Like, there is no middle ground there. It's literally like everything is just so fucking annoying. Like, why is literally everything like cranked up to the fucking nines? Zoomers, calm the fuck down, okay?
As smart as what they thought that you were. Yeah. Okay, I get that feeling that it's pretty tough to live up to their expectations. Okay, like your dad ultimately would like to see you be like a doctor. Those were pretty high standards for anybody. Not everybody can be a doctor. Okay.
You are white. You can't know what it's like having Asian parents. Look at South Korea. It's brutal. My parents literally pulled me out of a college that I chose to go to because I had 2 9s both semesters. Like, I'm fucking Turkish, idiot. You think my parents are fucking understanding when it comes to my grades? What are you talking about? My dad is a fucking PhD in economics from the London School of Economics. My mom is a fucking college professor right now. My dad is a college professor right now. My brother has a fucking graduate degree or a master's in engineering and is a fucking literal rocket scientist at Boeing. And my dad literally tells me every time he sees me that I need to get a fucking MBA, despite the fact that I make more money than he does or did at any point in his life. Don't fucking tell me about, like, my parents not being strict, you dumb fuck. Oh, I'm Korean. I know about strict parents. Oh, wow. Didn't realize only Koreans were fucking strict parents, dude. Didn't realize there was a monopoly of strict parenthood on the Korean side. Was I abused because of all that? Fuck no. That's ridiculous.
But they may have acted like you could have done it no problem. Their expectations were so high that few people would be able to reach that expectation. I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about anybody. And it started at a young age.
The detective further explores the stresses of living with overly strict parents, and Jennifer explains in further details the way she would cope, which for the most part was lying about her grades and living a double life with her boyfriend.
How did it feel having to lie to them all those years?
It's really hard. Really hard. Like, I wanted to tell them, but it just, they always looked down in disappointment.
Okay. I'm sure there were days when you actually planned that this is the day I'm going to tell them, and then you just couldn't spit it out.
The opening strategy of the how and why solution has now been executed. A connection has been attained, and the desired narrative established. The next phase of the interrogation is about to commence, which is first set up by a two-step strategy. Step 1 is to induce fatigue. Step 2 is to induce fear.
Now, when's the last time you spoke to your dad?
This morning, just to see if my brother had made it into school with me.
Okay. And what have you and your father discussed about this case?
He just asked me if Daniel was behind it.
Okay.
And I told him I don't know 100%, but I don't think he did.
Okay. Why would he ask that?
Because he believes that we still talk and that he would go to anyone to be with me.
Okay. And what do you think about that?
I know that he's moved on, so I don't think he would go to these lengths to be with me when he's already moved on.
The detective has Jennifer go through the entire incident once more, but unlike the first investigator, offers no reassurance nor consolation. Jennifer starts fake crying again, yet this time is given no tissues to wipe away her non-existent tears.
Now, do you think there's any reason why they tied you up and didn't tie your parents up?
I'm sorry. One last thing I gotta say is this. Some of you suburban white kids literally deserve to be on a leash, okay? Like some of you fucking suburban white Andes who like fucking call your parents by their first name, having asses, and fucking yelling at your fucking dad having asses, like are ridiculous, okay? And yes, you do deserve to be put on a fucking leash when you go to the goddamn mall by your white ass parents. Oh my fucking Lord. Like literally people are just like not allowing me to play video games after a certain hour is actually a manifestation of physical abuse. You are neglecting me. It's like, no, they were overbearing parents who were fucking concerned with the well-being of their daughter and were literally overboard and overbearing, like I said. But goddamn, dude, like it's crazy. You call your mom by her first name? You think my mom's first name is Anne, which is mom in Turkish? I've literally never called my mom by her first name in my entire life. This is a hella conservative take, FYI. Yeah, dude. There you go. You fucking found me, okay? You found it. This is like, I guess this is where I'm conservative, and I literally think that it's the right way to go about it. Like, endless freedom to pursue whatever passion you want to and always build confidence. But, like, obviously you can't let fucking kids do whatever the fuck they want lest they turn into dumbasses, okay? God damn, like, I'm not advocating for fucking corporal punishment, but like, you're being ridiculous when you're like, hey, you need to fucking eat your goddamn vegetables before you fucking play Minecraft. And some of you literally are just like, haha! That's it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Does that seem odd to you? Why does it seem odd?
Because I was away up here separated from them the whole time.
And does it make sense that they would leave a witness behind? If they were going to kill somebody? Does that make sense?
I guess
Just thinking about it. But it makes sense for somebody that was going to kill somebody to leave a witness behind that could describe them. Does that make common sense for killers?
it's not.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was a mistake they made then?
I don't know. They kept saying that they're running out of time, and it just.
It doesn't take a long time to kill someone, though, does it?
I know. I don't know.
Jennifer's dramatics intensify as the discussion of the home invasion continues. She's trying to give off the nonverbal cue that she wants to move past the incident. The detective doesn't respond, but continues to go over the different stages of the night in more detail. He jumps from the beginning to the end to the middle, back to the end, and then back to the beginning again. None of this is for the purpose of information gathering. He is inducing mental fatigue as to diminish Jennifer's critical thinking. This is often done before a direct confrontation, as it can diminish the suspect's ability to consider the long-term consequences of a decision. Jennifer will get stressed and tired, not because she is traumatized by the event being recited, but because it's exhausting keeping up such an act when it's not genuine, and this performance eventually starts to dwindle and becomes gradually less convincing.
How did the conversation end with that?
I heard my mother calling for my father.
Okay. And then what?
Have to go through this again.
Okay. When you went to bed, was your mom home yet?
She'd just gotten home and I went down. I told her I'd be right back, and I went down, I said hi to her, and I went back up to my room.
Okay. Were you injured at all during the whole process?
Not really.
Okay. Not really anything? No. Okay.
Step 2 of the confrontation setup will now commence. The detective employs what is known as the futility technique. He will tell Jennifer that he has an abundance of resources at his disposal, and even fabricate much of what he asserts. He's indirectly telling the suspect it is useless to resist due to the overwhelming evidence against her.
Now, the reason why I'm here today, okay, is that I'm an expert, okay, in what we call truth verification. I talk to thousands of people, okay, and I basically know when somebody's not being straightforward with me, okay. I can tell by the language they use, how they answer the questions, their body language, how they treat the question, that something's wrong here, okay, this doesn't make sense.
The detective then gives Jennifer an 8-minute narrative on police tactics and forensic technology, some of which is embellished, but for the most part true. He then asserts that police are able to use infrared satellite imagery to see the occupants inside a household.
By the way, that's literally true. Well, not satellite, but like, that what he's saying is actually fucking true. They have, what do you call it? It's not a satellite. It's literally a van. They use that, yeah. It's not even a joke. They have heat sensors to like you can heat map or like use heat sensors to figure out like what it looks like. I think you can do it from a helicopter too, but I've never heard the fucking satellite. Yeah, they use thermal drones to find weed grows. Yeah.
This is entirely false.
And basically, if people...
He goes, this is entirely false? No, they literally have that. What the fuck? Why did he say that, dude? What the fuck is it called? Hold on. Maybe no, not because this is like in fucking however what year he wrote this in 2020. So it's not infrared thermal imaging. Pretty sure the U.S. Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional in the United States. This guy is asserting that they can look at footage from the robbery. Oh, that's not fucking true. It's entirely false for this specific case, and it's not done through satellites. But yes, they do have, like, cops do have fucking what do you call it? Like Not to embarrass you, but I think you're thinking of GTA 5. Wait, that's crazy. Was I thinking of GTA 5, dude? That's wild that this is like one of many different kinds of equipment that cops have to literally figure out if there are people occupying buildings, dude. Like, damn, I guess I fucking got that from Grand Theft Auto 5, dude. What a wild thing that like I saw on Grand Theft Auto 5. Radar C2 wall raises privacy concerns. Use of technology that allows police to see inside homes of suspects has raised privacy concerns. Man, look at that Grand Theft Auto technology, dude. That's crazy that this is technological achievements only done in Grand Theft Auto. I already literally said that what that guy was talking about as far as a satellite is false. But they do have technology to see inside of a fucking house like this, or to figure out how many people are inside. Anyway, let's keep going.
People are moving around in a house. It's like an X-ray, okay? And basically, we're able to tell, you know, are those movements, are those actions, that number of people consistent with the story that we've been told? Are the people in the positions that the witnesses are telling us they were in? Or are they different? Okay, and if they're different, why are they different is what our question becomes, right? And so at the end of the day, okay, there's so many resources available to me that at the end of the day, I'm going to know if a person's telling me the truth or not.
The detective is now about to initiate the confrontation, but first brings the entire setup full circle by reestablishing the notions of reasoning and rationale. The suspect is fatigued and scared, but still needs to feel the detective is on her side.
Now, I can tell you that nothing surprises me in this job, okay? I am well aware that anybody on this earth is capable of making a mistake. Okay? I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're a priest. I don't care if they're a school teacher. I don't care what the situation is. Given a certain set of circumstances, everyone has the capability, Jennifer, of making a mistake, doing the wrong thing. Okay? The key, though, when I talk to people is when they made a mistake, okay, that's one thing, right? The key is to not keep making the same mistake. And to get that information out and get it off their chest. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, from this case, and I can tell you I've spent literally a week on this case, going over information after information, accessing all the sources, speaking to every other expert on the case. And at this point, Jennifer, I know that you've not been truthful with the police. Okay? You've not told us everything that you know, purposely. You've spent a considerable amount of time in the last 7 years telling half-truths. And I can understand why, okay? You've had a tough life. What's happened to you, to me, equates to abuse. And all the stresses that you've had and forced to lie, I can understand why you did it, okay? But you're in another situation here where you're under another tremendous amount of stress. And it doesn't feel good inside, does it? It breaks down the person that you are. Because at the end of the day, you're a good person. I know that. You've got a good heart.
Yeah, totally, dude.
In this case, though, you've made mistakes.
Yeah, like fucking
Okay?
hiring,
And you're involved.
like hiring with your boyfriend a bunch of dudes to come in and murder your family. You know, just like some mistakes. You've accidentally stepped into that now.
Involved in this. I know that. Okay, there's no question about it. The only question right now is, are you going to keep making mistakes? Are you going to go on the route that you've gone on over the years and try to pretend that things happen that never happened. Okay, are you gonna not face reality?
What do we learn from this, chat? The moment that you sit inside of one of these rooms, even as a witness, as soon as the cop is being nice to you, recognize that if the cop is being nice to you, recognize that you're being played. If the cop is being mean to you, recognize that you're a suspect and also therefore being played. So in all instances, lawyer up. I mean, obviously, number one is don't murder your fucking family, you know, but plead the fifth and lawyer up. Don't talk to cops and lawyer up.
We know that you're involved. We've done our homework, okay? We have to resolve that now here today. I need to know from you what really happened. And I know why this has happened. You have spent your whole life trying to live up to expectations that you can't meet, okay? And that stress the hell out of you. You're a 24-year-old woman being treated like a 15-year-old, okay? You've never done anything that terrible in your life, but you're being treated like you have. You're not being treated like the adult.
With peace and love, I'm going to assume Hasan Abi is just manufacturing content by talking real ignorant and privileged instead of unironically making fun of her situation. What? Bro, what the fuck are you? Yo, chatters, sometimes people are fucking wild, okay? They're spoiled. They're entitled. Not every single instance. Like, we are looking at edge cases, okay? We're looking at edge cases. We're looking at edge cases in the sense that, one, we're looking at cops being manipulative as fuck, but actually doing it for a completely closed, 100% open and shut case, okay? Two, we're looking at edge cases when like, this is the indefensible people in the criminal justice system, okay? Like, there are indefensible people in the criminal justice system. Even, like, prison abolitionists have to agree that there are psychopathic murderers and serial killers and people who do stuff like this that are indefensible and also very difficult to treat. Okay? So not everything has to be a manifestation of traumatic experiences. Like, sometimes people just fucking snap. Sometimes people are spoiled. Sometimes people are narcissistic. Sometimes people have sociopathic behavior that they demonstrate. Like, literally fucking spending 8 years hiding some truths from their parents, which is fine. That's like, that demonstrates that, like, the parents are very strict, but she obviously took a very different fucking turn there. And then literally organizing a hit squad on their fucking parents. Like, maybe it makes it so, it makes it easier for you to, maybe it makes it easier for you to just, like, feel like, oh, it's definitely because, like, her parents were abusive and that's why, like, she went and facilitated this. But, like, you're being ridiculous, dude. Like, you're being ridiculous. You are literally talking about a person who is portraying themselves as a victim to a fucking cop right now in the midst of an ongoing investigation, literally a week after she fucking murdered her parents, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you guys, dude? What is wrong with all of you?
That you are. Yes, you made some mistakes. Big deal. You're not the first person that has gone out and not told their parents that they're dating a guy, because in your culture they don't accept it. I understand that. I've talked to people in here that have kept that secret for their whole life from their parents. Okay, so that's not abnormal, but that puts a lot of stress on you, right? That's not easy for you, is it? No. Now, what we need to get down to here today, Jen, is what really happened. You need to tell me what went on, because you know who was in that house that night. You do, Jen. There's no question about that, okay?
While remaining empathetic and understanding, the detective still needs to keep Jennifer's confidence low. He watches for denials and stops them immediately. Letting the suspect deny her guilt will only increase confidence and morale. This needs to be stripped away as much as possible, as early as possible.
There's no question about it, okay?
The focus is kept from the magnitude of the crime and concentrated on the justifications of why someone would commit it.
Yes, their intentions might have been good, but they're not realistic. They're not, Dan, were they? Jen? Their expectations weren't realistic, were they? You couldn't live up to them, could you? You tried to. Right? Am I right? And finally you had to bite back, right? You had no other choice. You felt like you had no other options. You thought of everything else, including killing yourself. This is Canada. We're in the 21st century here. You cannot take everything out of a person. You can have expectations for your kids, but you can't expect them to do everything the way you want. It doesn't feel good to have secrets, does it?
No.
You have to let me know what happened here, okay? Okay, but you were involved, right? That's the part we need. Okay? We need to hear that from you because we know you were.
The detective appears to be getting nowhere, so he now lowers the gauge of admission. A confession to a lesser offense is far easier to attain, but once it is attained, can be used to build on the more damnatory elements of the case. You'll also notice that he uses broad terms that infer guilt, yet don't
Yeah, the detective should have pulled the other fucking lady's strat and been like, listen, I understand if you were like potentially a victim in this situation. You're a victim to your parents' abuse, you know, like the way that the chat was talking about it. God, your parents were so abusive. And then, you know, turn around and be like, maybe your boyfriend was the one who did this. And then have her admit to that.
directly accuse Jennifer of murder.
You knew before that night that this was going to happen. I'm going to make that easy on you. That's a true statement, right? You knew before that night that they were coming, right? Jen? It's not worth it anymore. It's hurting you.
She seems to be on the cusp of giving some form of admission, yet wants reassurance as to what it means for her own sake. She asks this question 9 times throughout this interrogation. It's one of the few things investigators can't actually lie about, as it's been used countless times in the past to get a case thrown out under misdirection. They can avoid the question, yet they can't afford any false promises with respect to sentencing.
I need to know the details. I can't even say. But I can tell you one thing is that we already know, so you can't change that.
Then why did it stop?
I know you did. But it got too far ahead of you, right? You didn't think this far ahead, did you?
Jail time, baby.
But once they started, once they came in, you couldn't stop it, could you?
Good.
Could you? Jen?
Why did it stop?
I know. Why didn't they stop for you?
Motherfucker's saying it's not funny. Y'all are
But
crazy.
you were part of the planning, right?
You are crazy. I need to
You have to
recenter
tell
all of
me
you.
that part, and then we're going to work through it together. Do you know what I'm saying? You didn't want this. You wanted to stop it. You have to prove that to me now. Because at the end of the day, we have to stop this from happening to someone else. Right?
What happened to me?
Jen, we're going to have to deal with it one step at a time, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I need to know what you did. And then you and I are going to work through this together. Because the most important part of this whole thing is that we do the right thing for your mom. Right? I am her voice right now. I'm working for your mom. That's my job. And I have to get to the bottom of this for your mom.
Appealing to compassion isn't necessarily uncommon when the crime is first-degree murder, yet it can send a mixed message when a justification for the crime was a focus point early on. The detective takes his chance with it, which at first appears to work. Jennifer initially responds in a poignant manner, but you'll soon come to notice that her empathy, alongside her concern, is solely focused on herself.
But we got to start.
But what happened to me?
Well, I don't know at this point, okay, because I don't know what you're going to tell me other than that you were involved, but I need to hear it. What this all was a last-ditch effort to live your own life, to be your own person, to make your own decisions. Look at all your friends. Look at all the people around you. Does anyone else have a curfew for 9 o'clock at 24 years of age? You had no choice here, Jen, I know that. And anybody else in your situation would have done the exact same thing. The only thing different is I would say that they'd have done it a lot earlier. They would have looked for a way out. When did you first start planning this? When was the final straw? What was the final straw? So that's what this is all about. Do you want to be a good person here?
Jennifer knows exactly what questions to answer and what ones to ignore. Anytime a question is non-incriminating, she gives a response. Yet when they are incriminating, she remains silent. She is no doubt feeling the pressure, but still very aware of the situation and the potential ramifications of her words.
Okay. And you know when a good person makes a mistake, they have to face that mistake, right? Right? What do you think should happen? I don't know. You're going to prove to people that you know what the right thing to do is. That's what is going to happen. That's what your mom wants right now. She's watching us here. She's wondering, is Jen going to make the right decision here? Is Jen, after all of this, going to come out on top doing the right thing? I'm here for you, Jen. I'm here for your mom. Well, you have to tell, it's one of those situations, you know what, we know that what you did, okay? But you have to be able to explain to me what happened, okay? I can't tell you what's exactly going to happen to you. You just have to be brave here. You have to be brave.
"3 hours, 20 minutes, and 26 seconds. The exact amount of time it took for Jennifer to display genuine emotion. The investigator would later testify this was the first moment the suspect was being authentic. He allows her to fixate on whatever thought brought this on, and remains completely silent for just under 2 minutes.
Sorry, aren't you? They were supposed to take you?
Like, she's lying. She's literally lying, dude. Like, this is a lie, bro. This is literally a fucking lie. And Chad is 100% like saying like, oh, she's abusive, da-da-da, all this shit. Like, that's fucking insane. I'm actually mind blown by the way that the chat's been behaving. Like, and they haven't even realized that I'm stalling because it's top of the hour, coming early to you this time around. Running an ad break right now. You fucking sick freaks. There's people who have been literally calling it out 15 minutes in advance. Top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break. I still got a lot of you this time, okay? I gotta fucking switch it up on you. That's abusive, by the way. I'm being abusive to you by switching it up on where the ad breaks are. Now, of course, if you'd like to no longer see the ads, you can subscribe, use a VPN, ad block. You can subscribe for free with a motherfucking Twitch Prime. You freaks, dude. You guys are freaks. Some of you are literal freaks. 15 minutes out, people are calling it out. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here's the fucking ad break now. Hasan's such a good streamer. He makes the ads content. Yeah, we gamify everything here. Yeah, I'm gaslighting you guys. I'm gaslighting you. You realize that now they're going to start spamming early? I know, dude. I know. Well, you know, maybe I'll just never run the ad until later. Why is there someone who keeps saying dream face reveal on Twitter? For the record, I have looked into additional details of this while the interrogation was going on, and there are things that they've done. His face has been leaked. Oh, Jesus Christ. How the fuck did they successfully dox him? That's crazy. I already ran the ad. Just run the ad and piss, you loser. No, I ran the ad. I'm waiting for it to be done so I can fucking start when the ad break is over, okay? That's why I was fucking stalling. So, because I don't want people who read the ads to, or who watched the ads to fucking miss the content. It's done. It just ended. Let's go.
What? Okay. So you're supposed to take the whole family out?
No, just me.
What went wrong?
I don't know.
The detective now has one foot in the door. It's not an outright confession, but Jennifer has now admitted to planning the home invasion all along. And although she asserts that she was the intended target while her parents were meant to be spared, the information she has now given is enough to place her under arrest. Jennifer is no longer going home after this interview. The detective now presses for more information on the amended storyline. It's essentially step one of day one all over again, but from a more powerful position. He knows she is still lying, and now locks her into as many lies as possible within the new narrative.
What happened?
I don't know.
Why did it change?
I don't know.
Okay, what do you know? How come it was supposed to be you?
Because I didn't want to be here anymore.
Why not?
Because I was a disappointment.
Okay, you made mistakes, but nothing that couldn't be corrected. Why was it supposed to be you?
I don't think this police officer knows what this person has done to people who have abused her, or who she is pursued as, who she's perceived as being abusive. I don't know. He's making some mistakes right now.
To be free from me.
Why did it happen this way then?
I don't know. Everyone could be free from me. I was disappointed in everything.
Okay, but why did it have to happen this way?
Because when I tried suicide, I failed.
What did you want done? How?
Didn't matter.
This is a lie, by the way. This is literally
So
a
who
fucking
did you
lie.
get to do this then?
I don't know who he is. I just got his number.
Okay, and what's his number?
I don't memorize it.
For the record, for those of you who don't know, she murdered them instead of fucking living with her boyfriend, who the parents originally didn't want her to live with because he was selling weed, which is like a fucking weak ass excuse, but like still, I mean, like it's like, who gives a shit, right? But the reason why she wanted to murder them is because she calculated that she would win $500,000 in insurance. So that's the reason. That's the reason why she murdered them instead of just like living with her boyfriend. So yeah, motherfucker, keep crying about like, abused. She was abused. That's why she's this way. Literally fucking paid for this. And tried numerous times, by the way. Not once. The motive is because she wanted to make $500,000 off of murdering her parents. And also on top of that, I was surprised, motherfucker, this wasn't the first time she tried to execute them with an assassin. This is the second time, and this time it was successful, but only half successful, because she was kind of a failure, okay? Yeah, girl boss, gaslight, slay queen, right? Chat? She's also lying currently.
She skirts around the questions surrounding her accomplices and gives multiple fake names. She
Someone
stated
seems
that she
kinda
got the number
pro-cop.
of the supposed hitman from an acquaintance
Are you
named Rick,
fucking
and that she took
insane?
everything from there over the phone. It becomes apparent she doesn't want to give up, or even mention her boyfriend, so for the time being the detective allows her to recount her amended narrative in the manner she pleases. She gets to the moment she instructed the hitman over the phone about her planned suicide.
I told him that I wanted to be killed.
And did he think that was something crazy?
He said, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And I said, "Yes."
Because I don't think many people get that request. Do you?
No, but that's what I wanted. And he asked me over and over just to make sure I was sure. And I said I was sure.
Okay, so what did you ask him to do then?
Come take me out and then leave.
Okay. Why did they do it when you were, when your parents were there then?
Never alone. In the nighttime.
Okay. So that meeting you had with Rick, you told him what you wanted?
No, I just said that I wanted, if he knew anybody who could take care of something that I needed, just that I wanted to be killed.
And he said what?
Here's the number.
Did he have the number with him that day?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say he would do?
He just like told me to take care of it. Let me do me.
So your specific request to him was what?
To come in and make sure you kill me.
So he does come into the house, and you're the obvious only young girl there, right? Okay. When he came to your room,
Yes.
what discussions did you have with the guy that came to your room? The real discussions you had, not what you told us.
Where was the money? And I showed him where the money was.
Okay. But he obviously said, I'm here to do what you asked.
He never said anything like that.
What did he say?
Just like hands behind your back.
Did he discuss ways with you how he would do it?
No.
Did you request any way for him to do it?
To make sure no one else was around.
Okay. Why didn't they do it the way you wanted?
I don't know. I asked them to take me with my mom when they took them away.
Hey, notice how she's still fucking lying, by the way? While she's crying and trying to fucking cry her way out of this situation, she's still lying about what actually took place. The father already gave a testimony, if you recall, but you probably don't believe him because he was abusive, obviously, some of you. Recall that he literally said that she was walking around. This motherfucker literally survived a bullet wound to the head to wake out of a coma just to be like, my daughter was walking around and tried to get us executed. No, the dad didn't die. I don't know why people keep saying the dad died.
It doesn't seem to make sense.
I know, it doesn't make sense to me. Because I was
But it's seriously okay for the cop to coerce info from her? It's just as manipulative as chest sending long message. Oh, fuck you. I don't think it's okay for cops to fucking coerce this much. Especially because, like, we're watching the only successful instances without recognizing the reality that, like, in a lot of instances, this kind of coercive, manipulative interrogation behavior, interrogation technique is straight up used to fucking, to get false testimonies all the time. All the fucking time, dude. False confessions all the time. Central Park 5, specifically when the victims aren't like rich middle class, Asian girls or rich middle class white people, but instead poor ass fucking black kids. Okay, Central Park 5, again, reminding you guys that literally happened. Central Park 5. So it happens to poor white people too. So this channel does have a good video on this, but I just want you to remember that, like, in more cases than not, this is used to get fucking false convictions. This is used to get false testimony. I just want to, again, remind you, because we're literally just looking at the successful instances of edge cases where people like you, where you go, they deserved it. They deserved it because they're like fucking caught dead to goddamn rights. Okay?
supposed to be.
Okay. Can you sit up for a minute, Jen? Okay, look at me.
The detective wants an outright confession, and the second direct confrontation is about to commence. Only this time it will be a lot more aggressive, as he doesn't have to worry as much about the suspect locking up or requesting counsel. She is under arrest and going to jail after this interrogation no matter what.
Look at me. Okay. What I do believe is that you went to somebody. And I do believe that night you paid them the $2,000. But what's not true is it was never for you. Okay, Jen, no. Okay, you went to this person and you asked them to do a job. And the job was for your parents. You asked them to do this job on your parents, Jen. Okay, let's be truthful. Okay, nobody's going to come there and get the wrong people. If you wanted to kill yourself, Jen, you're not going to pay somebody $2,000 to do it.
I couldn't do it myself.
Okay,
So.
but there's other ways, okay? And if that was going to happen, they could have taken you outside and done it anywhere. It wouldn't matter, would it? If you really wanted to die, all they would have had to do is pull up beside you in a car and shoot you. You made a specific request, and the job was for your mom and dad. Okay, nobody's going to come in there and do the wrong job. Okay? Nobody's going to do that.
Bro, you can't get a fucking bargain on murder. Okay? You just can't get a bargain on a double homicide. Like, everybody knows this now, especially. Also, the hitman is always a cop. Oh, straight up.
They came, you paid, and they did what they were supposed to do. And the plan was for your parents.
Me.
Okay? Jen, you have to be honest with it. This is the only thing that's in contention here. Okay? You made the mistake, okay? Everybody understands. Everybody in this police department feels sorry for you. I can tell you that right now. Okay? Because they've seen what you're going through. It's so obvious. Okay? That all this tension they put out, basically this is like a volcano, all right? And at one point,
Jeez, this is a Hitman Cop video? Oh my God, we're watching that after.
You erupted, okay? And you made a bad decision, okay? And once you hired this guy, there was no turning back. Now, in the original story, you said that you hid your cell phone, okay? If it was for you, you wouldn't have hid your cell phone. That would have never happened. So it's in conflict.
It's not hidden. It's just I put it there naturally.
Okay.
It's what I naturally do.
Okay, but you...
Chat, he doesn't understand. Stop saying he understands. He literally is doing this to get a confession out of her. Oh my fucking God, dude. Stop, please.
Said on tape that you hit it there.
Chat is like literally, there's like dudes in the chat who are like, see, he gets it. Like, you're literally getting duped by this fucking cop, okay? Just like she is. And it's the same chat who was originally saying like that she was so stupid for falling for, or she was so stupid for fucking, self-reporting and shit.
And that they didn't know about it. That's your language, not mine, Jen. All they wanted was so much success out of you, they were not even looking at you as a person. They were looking for a success story.
This is extremely
Instead
manipulative.
of just saying, whatever Jen wants is what's good for us.
For the record.
Whatever she's happy with. As long as she's happy in her life, I'm happy with it. If she wants to work at Eastside Mario's for the rest of her life, that's fine. If she wants to be a piano teacher, that's great. If she wants to continue figure skating, that's wonderful. Why would somebody shoot someone they didn't have to shoot?
I don't know. I can't figure that out.
And actually not shoot the person they're supposed to shoot?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, why didn't you tell us this that night then?
Because I was scared.
Scared of what? Telling the truth?
Yes. That I wanted to die. But
Okay,
instead,
but listen, if you wanted to die, you would tell us everything because it wouldn't matter. Jen. If you really wanted to die, you would tell us everything because it doesn't really matter. Right?
It does matter because the wrong person got hurt. And my dad is suffering.
I appreciate that's what happened in the end, but that's what was supposed to happen. Okay? The good thing about this is your dad did live. And that went against the plan. If you could make this decision over, you would change it. Okay? You would change it. Right?
Of course. If I knew who was going to get hurt, of course I would.
Jen, you knew who was going to get hurt. That's the whole issue here. Okay, that's the whole issue here. You gave them the plan for your parents, right? That's all I need to hear.
No.
Jen, you did.
No, and this is not going to go anywhere because I wanted them to kill me.
Tell me what happened.
I told you what happened.
Okay, all of it.
You did.
Okay, all you have to do is tell me right now.
Dude, he's so horny to get a confession that he's being super fucking annoying, dude. He's like, I know it's his job, but like, god damn, dude.
Bill, yes, I made a mistake.
Bill, yes, I made a mistake.
This plan was for my parents.
The detective gets no further admission from this point forward, so he leaves Jennifer alone for 3 minutes to play with her hair before he comes back and charges her with first-degree murder.
Okay. I need you to listen close to me, okay, Jen? At this point in the investigation, okay, I'm going to be arresting you for murder, okay? Also attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Do you understand that? Just have to tell me if you understand those charges. Just say yes or no.
By the way, we've only watched like an hour and 27 minutes. She's been there for 4 hours and 23 minutes at this point. Remember.
So what
Get
we're going
fucked,
to do
by the
right
way,
now
to her,
is,
is
do you
what I
have your
said.
own lawyer?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have a lawyer you would like to speak to that you know of?
No.
Okay. Would you like to speak to duty counsel?
I just want to talk to someone who can help me understand.
Okay, so who would that be?
I don't know.
So do you have a lawyer?
You said that you were on my side. And I was...
Okay, I am on your side, Jen.
Bro, she
What
is
would you-
fucking... Yo, she is such a fucking manipulative Andy, dude. She's not fucking... Dude. She is scary as fuck, dude. She's scary as fuck.
What would you like to do?
I don't have any idea what to do.
Do you want me to call duty counsel for you?
Okay.
Okay. Or is there any other lawyer that you would like?
I don't know what I need.
Okay. So at this point, you wish to speak to duty counsel then?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm going to have to get you to do is actually empty all your pockets on the table here. I'm going to make sure that they're making a call to duty counsel, and we'll line that up, and you can speak to the duty counsel in private, okay? We've made a call to duty counsel, and we're just waiting for them to call back, okay? Need a drink of water or anything? What's that? I do have to go and speak to these officers, but I'll come back and speak to you, okay?
She's like, if only I had another $2,000, I get you murdered right now, you fucking son of a bitch. She's like, just stay in here, dude. Come on, I have some friends that want to see you.
Well, we got to take care of the lawyers, okay? That's the priority right now, okay?
The next time Jennifer would see this detective would be when he testified at her trial. It began on the 14th of March 2014, and Jennifer pled not guilty to all charges. Her interrogation tape was one of the more damning pieces of evidence put forward by the prosecution. Yet the most damning were the 116 text messages between her and her boyfriend in the 6 hours leading up to the murder. They thought using burner phones to communicate would cover their tracks, yet forensics were able to uncover the entire discussion just 1 month after the incident. They spoke in detail about how the crime would be carried out, and it was enough to convict them both, as well as each of the intruders who were linked to the crime via DNA evidence and witness testimony. They were all found guilty of first-degree murder and given a life sentence without the possibility of parole for 25 years. Jennifer Pan is now 34 years of age. She is currently serving her sentence at the Grand Valley Institution for Women in Kitchener, Ontario. She will be first eligible for parole in November of 2035.
So, the thing I was gonna say here, you spoke over the phone about the murder. Yeah, no, she's dumb as fuck. So here are some things that I want to mention to you guys. Okay, so first and foremost, I can't find that story now, but I found like a Reddit link to the story where the most heartbreaking part is when the mother pleads with the assailants not to hurt her daughter, not knowing her daughter is the mastermind. I can't find the actual story, though. The story's not showing up. It's like going to a page not found. But also, the other shit that I wanted to tell you is that there are some things that the parents do that like are way over the top. I would even go so far as to say abusive, obviously. What was it? Like they wouldn't like, they had extremely high expectations of her, all that sort of stuff, made her take piano lessons. That stuff is normal like aggressive parent shit. Normal aggressive parent shit, but like, wow, we were right. Chat was right. None of it justifies what the fuck she did, but also I think she's still a piece of shit. Like I would say that like you guys are making it seem as though her murder is directly linked to the parents' behavior. Okay? Her murder is not linked to her trying to execute her parents are not linked even remotely to her parents' like behavior that you could even fucking remotely consider abusive. Okay? It's part of it. It literally is. You are wrong. That's what I'm fucking pissed off about. And guess what? You're gonna go back and act like you didn't just say that. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of it. She wanted a fucking insurance payout. You dumb motherfuckers. I caught you. You literally got into my fucking trap. I wanted you to get caught in 4 fucking K to say that her parents' abuse is the reason why. The parents got fucking murdered. Bitch. Guess what? Yeah, you just got sprung, dude. On a motherfucking trap. This is the part that's like annoying. Karen Cahoe, Han was seen as a classic tiger dad, and Bick was his reluctant accomplice. The Pans picked Jennifer up when classes ended each day and monitored her extracurricular activities very closely. They never permitted her to date boys while attending high school or to attend high school dance out of fear that these activities would distract her from her academic commitments. Jennifer was not permitted to attend. If you consider this to be even remotely like that, that is like at the border of abusive behavior, okay? Because that is over the top. But not even fucking remotely is something that you could fucking turn around and say is part of the reason why she became a fucking murderer. Okay? Jennifer was not permitted to attend any parties during her time, and her parents believed that she was attending university. That's bad parenting. That's bad parenting. That is bad fucking parenting. Okay? Not every instance of bad parenting is literally fucking emotional or physical abuse. Now, at the age of 22, she'd never gone to a club, never been drunk, visited a friend's cottage, or gone on vacation without her family. Jennifer and her friends reportedly regarded this upbringing as restrictive and greatly oppressive. Despite her parents' high expectations, Jennifer received good grades in lower school, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Now explain to me why her parents being over the top and overcorrective and overzealous led to her wanting to murder them for insurance money. Explain that to me, motherfucker. And trying twice to murder them. Not once, but twice to murder them. Bitch, that's my upbringing. My parents are still alive, though. You initially compared the abuse that she suffered, and some of us in chat suffered too, and I mean overwhelming control over her social life, shaming her over not exceptional achievement to not achieving a PS5 or not having your nuggies warm enough. Do you think that's fair? Yes, motherfucker, I do think that's fair. When we're talking about literal murdering and execution for an insurance fraud, I do think that. Because you, again, are talking about this as though this is like the fucking utmost abuse. That in a situation where you're describing a pattern of behavior that led to someone murdering their parents. That's why I think it's a ridiculous fucking take. Her parents loved her, chat. Her parents loved her. They did this because they loved her. She murdered them because she hated them, okay? Her parents didn't just do this because of selfish reasons. If that was the case, then her mother wouldn't be fucking going, oh my God, please, no matter what you do, don't murder my daughter. Abusive parents don't have an actual care or love for their children. There are victims of parental abuse in my chat right now that would probably agree with what I'm saying. They literally loved her till the very end when she fucking murdered them. That's the difference. That's bad parenting. They wanted what was best for her, and they acted out in a way that was fucked up and overbearing and overzealous. But that's bad parenting. That's not fucking abuse, dude. They did not want her to date this dude Wong because they were like, oh, he's a drug dealer. You can't be around boys. You can't be around this guy. Anyway, in spring 2010, Pan was in contact with Andrew Montemare, a high school friend who she claims had boasted in their high school years about robbing people at knife point, an assertion denied. An assertion denied by Montemare. Montemare introduced her to Ricardo Duncan, a goth kid. Sorry. Whom Pan claims she gave $1,500 to kill her father in the parking lot at his workplace. Duncan alleged that she once gave him $200 for a night out, but that he returned it and that he rebuffed her when she asked him to kill her parents. Pan and Wong were back in contact at this time, and according to the police, came up with a plan to hire a professional hitman for $10,000 to kill her parents, calculating that she would then inherit $500,000. They planned to move in together. Wong connected Pan with a man, Lenford Roy Crawford, Jamaican-born, whom he called Homeboy, and gave her a SIM card and an iPhone so that she could contact Crawford without using her usual cell phone. Crawford contacted another man named Eric Sean Sniper Carty, who in turn contacted Montreal-born David Milvaganam. Crawford lived in Brampton. Milvaganam lived in Toronto, while Carty, who previously lived in Rexdale, Toronto at the time, did not have a fixed residence. Pan unlocked the front door of the family home when she went to bed, then spoke by phone to Milvaganam. Shortly afterwards, the two other people entered the home through the unlocked front door, all carrying guns. Okay? I feel like I feel like you guys are like discounting like actual fucking instances of abuse, especially among like Asian parents and Asian children as well. That's why they have such a fucking high suicide rate. When you turn around and you're like, whoa, oh, this was so fucking abusive. This was so abusive. What they were doing was so abusive. How else are we supposed to move out? We can't all be millionaire streamers, Hasan. Yes, you're right. Read the second part. By that time, Jennifer was 24. Wong had grown weary of trying to pursue a relationship with her, as Jennifer was so daunted and restricted by her parents that she lived at home and only met him in secret. Wong broke off the relationship with Jennifer and began to date another young woman. After learning of their new relationship, Pan claimed to Wong that a man had entered her house, showing what appeared to be a police badge, after which several men had rushed in and gang raped her. She claimed that after this, a bullet was mailed to her and that both of these events were orchestrated by Wong's new girlfriend. No, chat, keep telling me, dude. It's because they're fucking, yeah, I saw the fucking incredibly heartbreaking part from the father. When I lost my wife, I lost my daughter at the same time, Han wrote. I don't feel like I have a family anymore. Some say I should feel lucky to be alive, but I feel like I am dead too. Han and his son Felix cut all communication with Jennifer after a conviction. Oh, by the way, there's a brother too, you know, who didn't fucking murder her parents, who are abusive, by the way. Han survived the attack, but it left an indelible mark on his life. He's unable to work and suffers anxiety attack and nightmares. Han is in constant pain, and nothing he does brings him any joy. He can't live in his house, so he lives with relatives. Han has tried to sell the house, but no one will buy it. She's literally demonstrated over and over again sociopathic behavior. And that's what I got. That's all I got. Finish the video. This is it, dude. The video's done.
What about your dad?
He drives a Mercedes and he loves that baby.
Is that right?
Oh, that was